Hi, I'm Tereza with PotomacBeads.eu and PotomacBeads.com, and today we are going to be working on my advanced project, which is this crystallized bracelet. Crystallized because it's full of Potomac crystals. These are Potomac squares in 14mm size. These are slim navettes, and together with them we have Potomac exclusive these two new beads, the Eva bead and these rounduo mini beads. And there's also Peyote tilas, Peyote seed beads and Swarovski bicones. This project is not suitable for beginners, so I would recommend this only for rather advanced beaders. But it is really fun to make because it's kind of repetitive, so when you catch how to make this segment and the connection, you can't really miss a step and you will be able to finish this one. It features peyote stitch and some variations, so you will definitely learn new things, how to embellishment the actual segments and how to connect the beads and how to work with the multi-hole beads. So if you want to make this version or any other color version, just go below the video or in the end of the video where I say what you need and how many beads you will need, so you can join me and make your crystallized bracelet. So today we are going to be making my crystallized bracelet. So this is the first finished color combination, and today we'll be working on this one. I chose again silver tones, and this time in combination with some teal or aquamarine. So what you're going to need, just quickly, you will need Evas. This our new Potomac exclusive. The same goes with rounduo mini. Then you will need Peyote tilas, Peyote 15-oz, Peyote 11-oz, Swarovski 3mm bicones, and Potomac crystal squares 14mm size, and Potomac slim navettes in setting. As a clasp for this combination, I used the one strand elegant elements clasp, but for the second color combination I'm going for Potomac's push round clasp for 10mm rivoli. This is the aqua metallic ice, and I'm going to glue the rivoli in. And then you will also need size 12 needle, and we'll be working with Wildfire. Here I chose the white one. You can also use thread zap and the pliers, which will help thread your needle more easily. My bracelet is done from 6 elements, which are connected with 5, I don't know, crossings, or how would you call that, with the slim navettes in the middle. This is for my thin wrist. It sits perfectly, to be honest. So if you have slightly bigger hand, I would recommend going for 7 elements actually. So first you need to make the elements. This is one of them with a little embellishment here, and then we will be connecting those elements together here with the navette. So here I already have an example. I started with this one. With the same thread I worked my way around the whole element, added the embellishments and the first half of the clasp. Then I made the second element, and then I connected them together with the thread which is coming out from the first element. So you'll be using no extra thread because this project is rather advanced and there's a lot of angles which are kind of difficult for your needle, so it's difficult to bend it or just get there, and we don't want any broken beads. So I was trying to make it as easy as possible for you guys, so you could follow me and get at the same time the same result as I did here with the first color combination, which was that was a one needle baker, I might say. So I changed the tutorial slightly a bit, and now I guess this is not a beginner project, but if you have done some beading, you should have no issues to create with creating this bracelet right here. Now it's time to move over and to create our first element here. So this is the element from the front side, this is the element from the back side. So I have my Wildfire ready and threaded in my needle. I cut a longer piece, slightly longer than my R span, because I want to be sure that I don't have to add a new thread while I'm working on this one element. So this is one, and we will be working on it. So to start, it's the best to add one stopper bead. I'll be using a Milky 11/0 of another color. So pick the stopper bead, slide it down to the end of your thread and leave a 10 cm tail, and then go twice to the bead. That will make sure it will stay there. So like so, and now we'll be starting at the back, then going to the front, and then ending this line of, or the row of embellishments, which will help you to distinguish how to then put the elements together like this. You can see all the embellishments are on this side, and the loose threads are coming out from the same point. This is just to ensure that the connection of the elements will be as easiest as possible. So I will put this away, and now we will start with the Eva. So go through the right arm of the Eva, then take one Milky tila and go from left to the right through the upper hole. So now the upper hole is sitting next to the hole of the Eva, and there's a loose lower hole. Then another Eva, this time from the top down of the left branch. Don't forget to check your holes, because this is a two-hole bead. So from top down, then pick 1/15, one rounduo mini, check the holes, then 1/15 and go up through the right Eva arm and pull tight. You want to have your beadwork really tight, so the crystal will actually stay inside. Now we are adding again Milky tila through the upper hole, like this. Again Eva from the top down of the left branch. Another 15, rounduo mini, checking the holes, and back through the bottom to the top of the right branch of the Eva. And pull tight. Another tila, again the same way, so through the upper hole. And the final Eva, checking the holes through the left branch from top to bottom. Then 1/15, 1 rounduo mini, 1/15 through the Eva from bottom to top. Pull tight. The final Miyuki tila through the upper hole again. And then you will go through the first tila, through the free arm, and then we will add 1/15, 1 rounduo mini and 1/15, and go to the Eva, to the other side, and pull tight. Now also go through the upper hole of the Miyuki tila and through the Eva here. And then also through this 15 and the first hole of the rounduo mini we already went through. So this is the back side. Now when you lay down flat like this, you should have a shape looking like this one. So it will be looking like this when you put the crystal on the segment. The corners of the crystal will be sitting underneath the Miyuki tilas, so it will be sitting like that. Now it's important to remember which way you've been working, because I know that I finished my previous segments like that the thread is going to left. I was adding the embellishments from the right to left, so with the thread is going out of the of the elements on the left side. So which means that now I want, because I know that I will go like this up through the rounduo, and I will be changing the direction of the thread. So now I was working around the basic segment the way that I went clockwise, yeah, clockwise, and then I will be working counterclockwise. So just be sure that the thread right now at this point is going to the right, because now we will go to the top of this rounduo mini, and from this point we'll be working counterclockwise, which means that I will end like this, again with the thread ending on the left side. It doesn't matter if you start the way that you're working left and then switch to the right. It's just important that you finish the same way with all segments, like all the elements. So I will continue working like this. You can keep the crystal there, but if you manage to actually hold it, it might be better for you to picture where it's up and where it's the bottom. So now when you went through the upper hole of the rounduo and switch the directions, add 1/15 and then add 1 eva. I will lose the crystal for a moment, and the eva, when you are looking at from the front, it's actually copying the eva underneath. So now it's actually from top to bottom of the left branch. Now you'll be adding Miyuki tila again. So this time we will go through the lower hole. Then we will go through eva again. We will add another one. So from top to bottom, from the tip down. Now position the bead and add 1/15, then go through the upper hole of the rounduo, add another 15 and go through the other hole of the eva. And pull tight again. Now you can check it that the evas have the rounduo mini between them. So that's what we want. Again, add Miyuki tila, then add from top, top to bottom. Maybe it's better to say from the tip to bottom. Then add another 15 and go through the upper hole of the rounduo mini. Another 15 and to the eva. Another Miyuki tila. You string the tilas the same way all the time. You basically want the unused hole to stick out from the design. Then another eva from tip to bottom. And 15 go through the rounduo mini. And pick another 15 and before you go through the eva, now it's the time to add the crystal inside, because if you add the 15 then it's difficult to get the crystal inside. So I'm putting it there. The corners are going between the tilas. Like that. So the corner should be sticking out from the gap where the Miyuki tila is still missing. So pull tight so there are no gaps, and now with the 15 on the thread go through the eva. Now pick the last tila for this segment and go to the eva on the other side from tip to bottom. And then add 1 15-0 and go through the rounduo. So now it's looking like that. The Miyuki tilas are a bit sticking out like this, but we will fix that. Now I would recommend adjusting the crystal so it's sitting in the middle. I guess it will move a bit later, so we will be changing its position later as well, but now you have like some space, so I would recommend some basic positioning right now. We'll be adding more beads. So now your thread is coming out of the rounduo. Go first through the 15-0, which is right next to the rounduo. I will move this way. Yes. So now we'll be adding 15-0s and 11-0s. So pick 2 15-0s and 1 11-0. And go through the tila, which is on the front side. Now hold the whole element in the fingers, so the crystal shouldn't be slipping out, but we don't want it to move that much. So hold it tight. So that was the first beads, and now add 1 11-0 and 2 15-0s and go through the 15-0 here and the rounduo as well. And the beads should be sitting in the gap between the evas. Now go through the 15-0 here and now you do the same thing around the whole segment. So now I'll be adding 2 15-0s and 1 11-0 here. Go through the Miyuki tila on the front side. Then I will add again 1 11-0 and 2 15-0s and go through these 15-0s and the rounduo in the middle between them. And I'll be continue like here around the front of the element, and then we will switch to the back side. I am adding the last beads in the front. Yes. Now I will go through the rounduo mini. And then also through these 3 15-0s. Yeah, now I'm there. Now it's time to reposition the crystal a bit again. Yeah, now nice, now it's in the middle. So my thread is going from this last 15-0. Now I will pick 1 11-0 and go through the second tila in the back. Now it's the same, so 1 11-0 and sorry, not the same, well, sorry, we are in the back, so only 1 11-0 and go through this first seed bead here through the 15-0. So the front and the back will be sharing these 15-0s. Now add 1 15-0 and go through the 15-0 on the back and the rounduo, and pull. Now you can see when I cover the stopper bead that there's a little X, and in the middle there's this 15-0. The X is connecting the front and the back, and between the X, the bead here, and the tilas are the 11-0s. So now to continue, also go through this 15-0. Add one 15-0 and go through this 15-0 which is next to the 11-0. Pick one 11-0. Sometimes the tila can fold to the back, so just take your needle and return them back to the front. And go through the tila. Again 11-0 and go through this first 15-0. Another 15-0, going through this 15-0 and the rounduo. Go through this 15-0 too. You can't do it at once because the angle is not very needle friendly, so you need to do it in 2 steps. Now pick another 15-0 and go through this 15-0, 11-0 and through tila, and through the first 15-0, and through the 15-0 and rounduo, through the 15-0, now at 15-0, go through the last 15-0, 11-0 and through the tila, and last 11-0 and through this 15-0, pick 15-0 and go through the 15-0 and rounduo mini. Now you can see the needle went actually under the thread here, but it doesn't mind because I'll go back under the thread. Right. So now I am back where I want to be. I'm going through this 15-0 again next to the rounduo. And oh, it happened again, of course, so I'm going back underneath the thread. There are some shenanigans going on. Oh, I actually went through the thread, so give me a moment. Now it should be fine. Yes. So my thread is coming out of the 15-0, and now I can finally add the last 15-0 and go through this one. That's the last 15-0, and now we have the front and the back completely done in the same way with the same amount of beads. Now we'll add the embellishments with the bicones here. So now goes all the reason for my rant about where the thread should be going to. So as I wanted, my thread is now going to left, which is awesome, which is what I wanted. So, and it's also leaving this 15-0 bead. Now go through the through the 11-0, which is in front and next to the tila. Then pick one 15-0, one Swarovski bicone, and one 15-0. Then go through the 11-0 in the front, so that's the first embellishment. Then go through the 15-0 in the crossing, and then add two 15-0s, one 11-0, the Swarovski bicone, one 11-0 again, and two 15-0s again. Then go through the 15-0 in the crossing and the 11-0 in the front. And again, one 15-0, one Swarovski bicone, and one 15-0. And also go through the 11-0 in the front and then the 15-0 in the crossing again. So now we can leave it like this. This is the first element. The only thing I would do is knotting this end somewhere and cutting it so it's not in your way when you are progressing through the design, because it's really annoying. So knot it off and cut it, and make, for me, as I said, it was six elements, but my wrist, I don't know how, I really need to measure it. It's like 13 centimeters maybe. Oh, I really don't remember. It's thin, so for me it's like this. When I close the clasp, it's perfect. So maybe just measure how long is the element. You can also later, when you feel like you don't have enough of the elements, you can easily make another one. So when you have 6 of them, you can just line them up, measure how long it is, measure your wrist, and then add another one. There's no issue. So make 6 or 7 of them. There's 4 crystals in one pack, so I'm using 2 packs at least. So for me there's 2 crystals left, so I'm actually now thinking about some like earring version with a tassel or something like that. That could be really pretty. So make these, and then we will together continue by adding the clasp and connecting them together while finishing the embellishments. So after you have all the elements done, first, with the first element, you will do the adding the clasp. So as we ended, now we have the embellishment here on this side, and the thread is going out of this 15-0. So now pick one 11-0, 4 15-0s, slide down, then take the clasp and go through the hole. Now take 3 15 ohs, and when you have the beads like this, go through these 3 last 15 ohs here. So we are basically making a little circle around the clasp. You pull the thread and go through the clasp. And through the 3 beads. And then through the 4th seed bead, also through the 11 ohm, and then through the 15 ohm, and through the 11 ohm on the front. So now you have one side edit. Don't forget to pull so there's no thread here showing. Now we need to get through the other side and do the same here. So the thread is coming out from the 11 ohm on the front. So now go back to the 11 ohm to the back. Then through the 15 ohm in the middle. Now through these 2 15 ohs next to the rounduo mini. Through the rounduo mini. Now it gets a bit tricky because I think that your needle will leave somewhere around here. It doesn't matter. So go through it, and you just need to go back between the beads because your thread will left this hole here. So you need to get back through the beads. See, and I'm there. And now I want to go through the 15 ohs. All 3 of them, but take them like 2 and 1, and then through the 11 ohm in the front. Then go through the other 11 ohm like you would be getting back, and then again through the 15 ohm in the middle. And now again take 1 11 ohm and 4 15 ohs. So turn the clasp facing the right way, so that's like that, and go through the hole again. Add 3 15 ohs. And again go back through the last 3 15-ohs, making again a little circle, and now you have to pull so all the beads sit in their places, and go again through the loop of the clasp. Now I need to pull and adjust the position. And then go back through the 3 just added beads and the 11-oh and the 15-oh. Going with the adding the 3 15-ohs in this special way, that should help you, because you don't have to go that many times through this little 15-oh over here, which would break if we go through it more times. So we are doing it like that. And now go through it. Through the 15-oh in the middle. There's now already a lot of thread going through it, so be careful not to break it. Yeah, done. So there's a little loop done by adding one 11-oh, one 15-oh, which is like the one branch. Then there's a loop from altogether 6 15-ohs. You go through them twice, so you're going like this through the loop of the clasp, adding 3 more 15-ohs, going yet again around and then back through the 15-oh and through the 11-oh. And now go through the 11-oh in the front. Pick one 15-oh, the bicone, the 15-oh, go through the 11-oh in the front and the 15-oh at the crossing. This is the same embellishment like we did here, so now again 2 15-ohs, one 11-oh, one bicone, one 11-oh, and 2 15-ohs, and go through the 15-oh here and the 11-oh in the front. And now one 15-oh, one bicone and one 15-oh, and go through the 11-oh in the front and the 15-oh in the middle. So now you have a piece looking like this. Now we will continue by adding the connection here, the slim navette, like I did here already. So the thread is now going out of this 15-oh at the crossing, and now pick 2 15-ohs, then the navette, so it lies like this. So for me it's the lower hole. The holes will be sitting next to the 15-ohs at the crossings like this. Then 2 15-oh again, and then take your next element. The embellishment should be also facing down like this, So here will be the lower sitting the lower hole of the navette, and you want the thread be leaving on this side here. So when you continue adding more elements, all of the embellishments are sitting on the lower side. So I will put this way, and with the 4 seed beads and the slim navette I have on my thread, I will go through the 15-0 at the crossing here in the direction from the rounduo and to the bicone. Yes. It's a bit tricky because there's threads everywhere. So when you see the navette here, it's sitting between the elements. So now we are going up by adding 1 15-0, 1 rounduo mini, don't forget to check the holes again, then 3 15-0, 1 rounduo again, and 1 15-0. And now I will take this to my hands, and I am going again to the 15-0 at the crossing in the direction from the bicone to the rounduo. So now when I position it here on my bead mat, there's a like small bridge over the top of the navette. Now pick 1 15-0 and go through the upper hole of the rounduo. Then pick 1 15-0, 1 11-0, 1 15-0 and go through the 15-0 here in the middle. Again 1 15-0, 1 11-0, 1 15-0 and go through the upper hole of the rounduo. And now 1 15-0 and go down to the 11-0 in the front. Now we need to get from the front to back, so we can go back up again through this 11-0 here. So go through the beads. If you can see, there's a little gap under the rounduo in between the 11-0 and 15-0 here. So I'm just going with my thread to the other side. See, nothing is visible here. And now I want to go through the 11-0 up. So now my thread is again in the direction facing basically the bicone, because now I want to add 1 15-0 and go back through the upper side, the upper hole of this rounduo. So now there are 2 15-0s sitting here next to each other, right above the 2 11-0s under them. Now go through the 15-0 and the 11-0 we added previously. And now pick one bicone and go to the 11-0 and the 15-0 on the other side. Then go through the upper hole of the rounduo again. And pick one 15-0, turn it around and go in the direction from the bicone, to the rounduo through the 11-0 here. So it's like the copying of the thing we did here. Now again we have two 15-0s here sitting on top of these 11-0s. So that's one half of the navette finished. So now we need to get here to this bead, to the 15-0 in the crossing, but the thread and the needle needs to be in the direction from this side where the bicone will eventually be to the rounduo. So we need to make like our way over here and then a little bit back. Now it's a bit tricky because we went so many times through this 15-0 in the crossing that I don't want to go there anymore. So we will be adding a few 15-0s to the back side. So now our thread is going out of the 11-0. I'm picking one 15-0 and I'm going through the 15-0 and also through the rounduo here on this side. Again, my needle went somewhere through the gaps here, but it should be exiting the whole of the rounduo. So I will just try to get there. This is the point where you can easily break your needle because the angles are not very needle friendly. But I'm getting there, I think. Yes. So now the thread is exiting the rounduo as it should be. Now I will go through this 15-0, which is next to the rounduo. I will again pick one 15-0 and go through the 11-0 on the back side. And then I will, in the other direction, I will go through the 11-0 in the front. And finally also through the 15-0 in the crossing. So now the thread is in the direction of the rounduo. So this is where we want to be. It doesn't matter how you get there, but you need to get there somehow without the thread be showing everywhere. So this is like the the cleanest way I could invent for you. And now pick two 15-0s again. So we will be copying basically what we did here and go through the navette, then two more 15-0s and up through the 15-0 in the crossing on the other side, just the 15-0. Then again pick one 15-0, rounduo mini, 3 15-0s, rounduo mini, and a 15-0, and go again through the 15-0 from the direction of the bicone to the rounduo on the other side, and pull so there's no thread showing. Now go back through these 4 seed beads and the navette between them, and up through the 15-0 in the crossing again, and pull again. Now go through the 11-0 in the front in the direction of the bicone, pick one 15-0 and go through the upper hole of the rounduo. Again pick one 15-0, one 11-0, one 15-0 and go through the middle bead here. Then again one 15-0, one 11-0, one 15-0 and through the upper hole of the second rounduo. And now one 15-0 and go down through the 11-0 in the front. Now again we are getting from the front to the back, so in between the beads. Now I'm on the other side and now I'm going in the direction of the future bicone here through the 11-0 in the back, and now I'm picking one 15-0 and I'm going up through the upper hole of the rounduo, and through the 15-0 and the 11-0, and adding one bicone, I will go through the 11-0 and the 15-0 on the other side. Now through the upper hole of the rounduo and to the back, and then I will add one 15-0 and go through the 11-0 here in the back and down in the direction of the rounduo. So now it's a bit tight and a bit wavy, but in time the thread will loosen up a bit and everything will be fine. And also for wearing, I recommend to like bend a bit these points here, so they are like this, a bit up. You will see when you have it in your hands that they can either be bent like to the back or to the front. So back them to the front, and then you can also bend the whole necklace, bracelet, like here. If you can see it on the previous bracelet, which I have worn a few times, they are already like almost straight. So this is how you attach together how you connect these two elements, like the beginning one and the second one. When you continue, I will show you, because here you will add another one, so you will end here with this, but then you will be missing the embellishments here. So after that you will continue and add the Swarovski bicones here. But now I won't do anything more on this one element, so I will cut my thread, knot it off somewhere, and move over to attaching the next piece with the same way like we did here, but then I will show you how to continue and add the embellishments. As I said, I connected another segment to the previous two. This here is the same like we did here, and now what is left is the embellishment here. So you should have finished your work here with your thread going out of the 11/0 on the back, and we will be starting to add the embellishments here. So again, I will go through the small gap from the back to front in between the beads, because now again I want to go in the direction from the rounduo to the future bicone through the 11/0 here. And again, now it's like we did here already, so I'm picking 1 15/0, a bicone, and 1 15/0 again, and I'm going to the 11/0 in the front and also the 15/0 here in the crossing. Now we are in the middle, so I am adding 2 15/0s, 1 11/0, a bicone, 1 11/0 again, and 2 15/0 again, and I'm going through the 15/0 in the crossing and the 11/0 in the front. And the last one, so 1 15/0, a bicone, and 1 15/0, and again I'm going through the 11/0 here in the front. And that's it. Now I'm going to tie off the thread again, cut it, and now you can move over and add more segments. All of them you need. So as I said, I will have the bracelet from 6 segments. You can have it from 7 or 8 if you need. So continue like we did previously. So I am still 1 segment missing, so I will have to make another one, but always add the navette and the connection in between, and then finish the embellishments with the same thread. When you will be doing the the last segment and adding the clasp, which I already showed you how to do it. So your thread will be starting here. You will add the end the same way as we did in the beginning. Finish the embellishments and tie off the thread here, and then the bracelet is done. So you already know everything you need to finish this bracelet. Both of my bracelets are finished. So this is how the blue version turned out. I have 6 crystal segments here, like I have here with the amethyst version. I glued the rivoli inside of the Potomac's clasp. I used the E6000 glue. You can use any other glue which will work on clasp and metal. Doesn't have to be necessarily E6000. And now I think it's time to tell you what you are going to need. So now concerning some numbers. So each crystal segment needs, of course, 1 crystal, then 4 Miyuki tilas for front and back, so altogether 8 Miyuki tilas, 4 rounduo minis, then 6 Swarovski 3mm bicones, and 8 Evas. So you can count how many beads you have, well, you need to have for the whole bracelet, which will depend on how long the bracelet will be. Then you need to add 2 bicones for each connection. There's always the number of crystals minus 1, that's the number of the connection. So I have here 6 crystals, so I have 5 connections. So for each connection 2 Swarovski bicones, 1 Potomac crystal slim navette, and 4 rounduo minis. So that's the important numbers. So it means that for 6 crystal segments I will need 6 times 8, that's 48 Evas. That's 3 packs of Eva, because we sell them per 20. Then you also need the corresponding number of the bicones. I think it was 2 packs for this 6 elements version. And then you need like a half of tube of the rounduo minis. I counted that and I think it was 6 times 4, 24 plus 20, like 44 beads per this length of the bracelet. So, and now the colors. So this blue version was Potomac crystal squares 14mm in aqua color. Then we have the slim navettes, the longer version, which was blue zircon, sorry. Then the clasp was the Potomac's push clasp for 10mm rivoli, and the rivoli is also Potomac crystal. This one is the 10mm aqua metallic ice. Yes, this one. You need only one, of course, for the clasp. Then we have the Evas. This is the classic, the aluminum silver. Then we have the Miyuki tilas. It's opaque smoke gray luster. I use this color for both versions. Then the rounduo minis, my favorite metallic emerald color. Then we have the seed beads. There we have 11 ounce crystal labrador full and 15 ounce Duracoat galvanized sea foam. What did I miss? I did miss the Swarovski bicones. This is Pacific opal 3mm. That was this version. I will put it away. And now this amethyst version. So the squares were Potomac crystal squares 14mm size, amethyst color version. Eva was white Lila Vega luster. The Miyuki tilas were the same. It's opaque smoke gray luster, as I said. Then we have the rounduo minis. This is also aluminum silver. The Swarovski bicones, also 3mm amethyst. The clasp is Elegant Elements clasp, 1 strand. Yes, the hex. Then the slim navettes, I think it's light Colorado topaz, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, light Colorado topaz. And finally the seed beads. The 11-oz were Miyuki 11-oz crystal amber, and the 15-oz crystal Labrador full, also Miyuki. For both bracelets I used needles size 12 and Wildfire, and this one was the frost color and this one was the gray color. You need the 0.15mm Wildfire. So now I believe you should know everything to make your own crystallized bracelet. I hope you will have fun while making this bracelet. I had a lot of fun, although it was a rather challenging design. It takes some time to make, but I think the result is totally worth it. So don't forget to post your pictures into our Facebook group of beading and jewelry making. Everybody loves to see other people's design. People give you great feedback. You can ask away anything. People are super helpful. So I would recommend joining this group for also the latest updates on our items. And thank you very much for watching.